I can hear it out of both now. Oh.
Look, there's no action item this afternoon. Apparently there's an audio to state that. So we'll start the game as soon as the coaches and the refs are done.
Come on, you should jump in and go see that.
Hey, Matt. He's kind of in the way.
Let's go on bell to bell, I guess.
Will draw here and play it to the corner. Again, we'll try and work on getting that headset issue here for you fixed. And I think David Hillen just nodded yes that we did get everything fixed, so that's good to hear. Chaska trying to strike here early on in the offensive zone as it's kept in right at the point by Owen Thomas for the Hawks. Thomas will play it to the corner, and Benilde will take a hold of it now. Come the Red Knights. Fired into the zone by Grant Elling. 3 goals, 5 assists for Elling so far on the season. Quick snapper blocked by a Benilde player accidentally, so Callahan will take a hold of that puck and play it across the line. Here's Blake Messenberg trying to dance his way in. Quick snapper over the top. Might have caught a Chaska stick there as it echoed off the glass, and the Hawks will play it into the zone. This one patted away. Sully Scholl here for Chaska. Scholl trying to steer it towards the slot, bouncing around as it works its way into the corner. Red Knights trying to take a hold of it here as they will swing it around to the other side. Seamus Foley trying to get it out of the zone, but kept in by the Hawks. Foley will go back to play it. Foley up through center, batted down by a high stick. Red Knights will play it. Negating the high stick as here they come into the zone. Quick snapper, loose puck, where is it? Batted down by the Red Knights. They almost struck there as looked like Weishart had no idea where that puck was. Kept in by Schweitzer as his shot missed the mark. Flung right back down low as the Red Knights continue to press here in the offensive zone. 14:40 to go in the first period. Quick shot up in the air, blocked by the Red Knights accidentally again and bumped back to the point. Scooted to the corner as now Cooper Gay will try and play it back behind the net. Big hit there applied in the corner. Chaska trying to move it out of the zone, and they will do so as Schweitzer will pick it up. That just missed the mark off the stick of Jackson Bassan. 7 goals, 7 assists for Bassan so far on the year. Up along the wall now. Red Knights trying to play it. Here's Charlie Warner swinging it to the other side. The zone where it'll be collected by Charlie. Bart. Line fired wide there by Rinzel for the Hawks. And now the Red Knights will come out the other way. Looks like we got our audio figured out again. Not sure what the issue is, but hopefully we get everything squared away. Might have an issue with one of the cords that we have to get fixed here soon. Red Knights will have it again as Messenberg controls it. Finds his man on the left. Here's a snapper fought off by Weisert into the corner back behind the net now. Down below the goal line. Fired back around the other way. And Red Knights come up for a change. Chaska trying to take advantage. Glove of Limes. Finally, Bart. Whistle.
Oh, is this where I jump in now? Yeah. I had to be both this year, but Benilde Martin just got a break. In fact, it was Messenberg with a big try back to the bench. They jumped out early. They helped get into that lead, but it's been all Benilde.
I think we're going to try and get everything squared away.
Well, here comes Bennett Jacks through the neutral zone with some speed. Chips it off the board.
I think we figured it out now. Can you hear us, David Hillen? It looks like you can, so I think we're okay. I think what the issue was is we had the sound coming out of the wrong channel. And so I think we're all squared away here now. 10:18 to go in the first period. You haven't missed much.
Right. I'm sure everybody can relax now that we got the coach
Yes.
figured out.
Chaska will bank it up the boards here as they try and play it into the zone. That's Charlie Goodrich for the Hawks right up along the wall. And now here's Logan Like. Like with the shot. That one deflects high up into the netting and out of play.
Well, that was a good busy stick by, I believe, William Magnuson, the defenseman for this Hawk team. It was Logan Like that danced with possession just inside the zone, tried to bring it out to the middle, get a better angle, but nice busy stick ramps it up and out of play. Logan Like's one of those utility players, so to speak, for Coach Paul. He can play defense effectively, plus he can play center ice, and he minds the defensive responsibilities. Plus he's got a little offensive talents as well. But Logan Like, number 3 in the white.
You mentioned Coach Polly, Bart. Big milestone for him Thursday in the Red Knights win over Bloomington Jefferson. 500th career win for Coach Polly, so congratulations to him.
That's a big number, isn't it?
It is, very big. So he'll look to try and make it 5-1 here today as Warner will come across the line. Delayed offsides, and so the referee will stop the play here with 9:33 to go in the first.
Well, Matty, he'll probably be around when he gets his thousandth win. I don't think I'll probably be pushing up daisies by that point, but he's on a pace. But he's one of the best coaches, obviously in high school hockey. And but congratulations to him against a team like Jefferson, to a familiar opponent. That didn't hurt at all. But it's nice that the Red Knights have Brady Yakic back on the point, number 16 in the white. He's been missing for a good part of the season, but welcoming his talents back, it really gives Coach Pauly a little bit more diversity and more resources to work with, like he needed anymore with that defensive group. But they just get stronger. It's just like making a mid-season trade.
Yeah,
and getting,
exactly.
Getting a solid backliner.
Well, another coach that's approaching that 500 milestone is Eden Prairie's Lee Smith. I believe he's only 10 or so away, maybe less than that. So a couple of legendary coaches right there.
Plus, they're very good people, too. I mean, they're good guys. Coaching aside, they're just good individuals, but it's certainly a benefit, a feather in the cap for Minnesota high school hockey when you have coaches like that developing the young kids.
Here's a giveaway right out in front, and Schweitzer almost gave Chaska a gift-wrapped goal right there. Had to be careful in front.
He doesn't have too many miscues, but it's nice to have a goaltender like Limesand to pick you up when you're down.
This one goes into the Chaska bench, so we get a stoppage with 8:51 to go here in the first.
And one thing I like about Coach Pauly, too, is he's rolling over the lines. He's not line matching. He's just rolling them over. So if you're next up, you're the next one out. And it keeps everybody engaged and keeps things moving. But I have to give the Hawks some credit. This game, but it's still 0-0 on the scoreboard, so if they can kind of get their legs about them, get a little offensive rhythm, they're right in this game, obviously, but a goal would really serve them quite well.
Intercepted right at the blue line by Messenberg, and the Red Knights will play it back below the goal line now as they try and go back to Messenberg behind the net. They'll work away and find his man down low, off the stick of Weisert, and Chaska will come back the other way. Good speed through the neutral zone here by the Hawks. Save there, big rebound. Steer to the corner by the Red Knights. Nice play there by Messenberg.
Well, Messenberg manning his defensive responsibilities. If you're a center iceman, you not just forward. I mean, you can't just be offensive. You got to come back and mind your responsibilities. Nice save by Limesand, but a better follow-up by Messenberg to take that puck out of concern.
Red Knights back into the zone. That's Grant Elling sticking it to the corner. Hawks will come up the boards now and play it right at the line. Flipped back in by the Red Knights before it's taken hold of by Max Burkholder. Burkholder, the defenseman, with 12 points on the year, 5 goals, 7 assists for the Hawks. Here they come across the line. Snapper missed the mark, and the Red Knights will chop it off the glass. Kept in here by Magnuson. His shot blocked in front, rolling around in the slots, and we played to the corner here by the Red Knights. Back to get it is Seamus Foley. Foley on the backhand, good keep. Here's Bennett Jacks in front, they score! Limesand was way out of position and Chaska cashes in, it's 1-0.
Wow, and now with Severson to score. Jack Severson, the sophomore forward, that might be his first high school goal, but a big goal it was, but it was actually Bennett Jacks that actually stopped that play. 19 from 12, so it is going to be from Jacks. Jacks really made that play happen, containing the puck into the zone, just got out front. But just chipped it up over Limesand. So just what Chaska needed at that point. They've been working awful hard, and now they get some positive results for that. It's up to the Red Knights to just come back and push back and just keep playing the way they're playing.
So the goal, as you alluded to, Jack Severson and then Bennett Jacks on the lone assist for the Chaska Hawks. So they strike first here to make it 1-0.
And his first goal of the year.
Second point, had 1 assist coming into the game. Red Knights take a hold of it out in front of the net as it's Cooper Gay, as he'll play it back down low. Up ahead now, Red Knights come through neutral ice. Nice pass up ahead, they find their man. Here's Callahan trying to pull the trigger there, couldn't do so. And Chaska will come back the other way. Red Knights take a hold of it at the line.
Great play by Calvin Baird on that defensively against Callahan.
Here's Gay into the zone. Nice move. Shoots it over the top as he was stumbling to the ice. Got the shot off, but just missed the mark. Into the corner now Chaska comes up out of it with the puck now as they come into the offensive zone. Jammed at the line away offsides there was Owen Thomas, so that will stop the clock.
Well, it looked like the puck danced on Thomas just a little bit, but it was Callahan that stepped up and forced him to make a cut, and just, and I believe it was a Hawk. I thought it was Thomas that was offside, but it wasn't. But face-off just outside the Red Knight zone, 6:23 left in this first period. Chaska with a 1-0 lead.
Face-off will be just outside this Chaska offensive zone here, but the Red Knights win it. Say swinging across. Bumped up near the red line and fired right back into the zone by Joe Lynch. Limestone will just cover up this puck here for another stoppage. 6:12 to go in the first.
Well, it just seems like all the pucks that are coming at Limestone don't have a lot of velocity. Either they're tipped or they're fluttering or something like that. I think he's having a little trouble getting his timing down, but really one of the best goaltenders in the state of Minnesota. And the benefit that Coach Pauly has is if his team isn't playing their best hockey, Limestone generally bails them out and keeps the wheels on the hub, so to speak, until they can kind of work through it. So that's what good goaltenders can do.
Chaska Hawks part 6-8-1 entering this game. They snapped a 3-game losing streak with a win over New Prague 7-1 on Thursday. But it's definitely been a down year for the Hawks. Of course, last year they had a couple of prolific scorers that left them in Kester and Pitlick, and it's definitely been a down year, but you never know come section time with this team.
No, absolutely, and this team can play. They played against Eden Prairie, they played against Edina, they played against Prairie Lake, Eden Prairie,
Moorhead,
Minnetonka as well, so they can skate with the big boys. But when you graduate, some primary players, sometimes it takes a little while to adjust. But this is a team that can play. But against that New Prague team, I think they had 44 shots on goal and only allowed 8. So if you can get the numbers in the box like that, you're doing something pretty well.
Bischel plays it in front, tangled up, penalty coming up here against the Hawks.
Well, it looked like it was a delayed call, and it might even be Jack Severson that took that tripping penalty. I don't want to charge him if it wasn't him, but the referee kind of gave it just a moment of thought, decided to call the infraction, so it's going to be Benilde on the power play. 18.4. If there's 1 point on this Red Knight team that's a room for improvement, it would certainly be, looks like they're going to take Warner and they're going to take Magnuson, so we're going to have coincidental penalties, so it's still going to be 5-on-5.
All right, 27 trip, 10 rough.
Okay.
There you go.
10 white, 27 dark, sorry.
I love that ice, Mike.
It's a game changer, isn't it?
It enhances the product, let's put it that way. But it's going to be Warner for the rough.
Yes, sir, nothing on the board.
Yeah, nothing on the board. That just means coincidental. But the thing about coincidentals, I've said this every time, is they're going to be in their minimum with 2 minutes, but then it's 2 minutes, and then the whistle, and the way this first period's going, it might be about 10 minutes before they get out of there.
Based on
just 5:17 left in the period.
Based on that big stretch we had with no whistles, you're absolutely right. It could be a lot longer than the minimum 2 minutes that they need to serve. So,
well, at least we know it's not going to be more than 5 minutes and 5 seconds.
Schweitzer will play it up ahead as the Red Knights will have to get back on defense here, scrambling a little bit. Pass missed the mark intended for Grant Ellings. Hawks will go back to track it down here. We're under 5 minutes to play here in the first 1-0 lead for the visiting Chaska Hawks on that goal from Jack Severson, his first goal of the year. Up at the line. This will be played by Schweitzer at the top of the circle as he looks to move it out. Big honor for Schweitzer this week as he was named to the NHL scouting report for the midterm in the NHL draft, ranked among the top 100 for North American skaters. So pretty big accomplishment for Schweitzer.
Well, if you watch him play, you don't get too surprised by those accolades.
Here's a chance in front, broken up on the stick work there from the Benilde defense. There are a couple other Minnesotans as well. I know Matthew Gleason from Cretin-Derham Hall was on that list, and Blake Biondi of Hermantown, another one. I know I'm missing some players. Wyatt Kaiser of Andover, I think, was the top ranked one. Yep. In front, Limesand fighting it off. He'll hang on to it for the whistle. 3:59 left to go in the first.
Well, and to be honest with you, I thought Matty Gleason would be a little bit higher in the ranking, so to speak. I think he was around 6th or 7th round pick, and I kind of viewed him more as a 4th or 5th, but they know far more than I do. But it just shows that, if you play the game the right way, people are going to notice. You don't have to fly your kid all over the place. There are plenty of scouts here that can see. And I just appreciate all the talents, and congratulations. I'm very excited for the futures of all those young men.
And there's still a lot of time to build your draft stock here.
Well,
We've got a lot of high school time left, and of course we definitely could be seeing a Mr. Hockey candidate of the names we just mentioned. I know Gleason probably is the leading candidate right now, but a lot of other good names. He's the leading scorer for AA.
I know.
For points.
But you get so enthusiastic when you say that. It's awesome. Deserving. He earned it, though.
Chaska will play it here in their own end. 3:30 to go in the first. Long pass missed the mark, so be tracked down by Callahan, icing against the Hawks, so back down to their end.
Well, just 3:28 left in this first period. Hawks holding on to a 1-goal advantage, but after that goal, it seemed like the Hawks have settled out a little bit. Benilde St. Margaret Red Knights really haven't had a good opportunity or a good look at Wishart, the goaltender for Chaska. So Chaska doing some things pretty well, but an offensive zone faceoff now for the Red Knights.
This one won back for a moment, kept in and scooted to the corner by Callahan. Down low to the other side. So Red Knights will play it here. Asher Connolly on the puck, trying to find a teammate at the top of the point, but moved out of the zone. Good play here up ahead. Olmscheid, and fought off by the goaltender Carson Limesand. Into the corner now as the Red Knights are tied up along the boards. Back below the goal line as here they come up the ice. Charging ahead with speed on the outlet pass. Callahan up ahead for Logan Like. Back behind the net now. Like trying to jostle that loose puck free. Kept in at the line and moved up into the neutral zone. Callahan will just bump this one right back in, and Like dishes off. Here's the shot, missed the mark. That was Charlie Bischel on the shot attempt for the Red Knights. Hawks able to dig it out and play it through neutral ice. On the tape now, Nate Schweitzer. Penalty coming up against the Red Knights.
Well, it's going to go against Charlie Bischel. His were the arms that came up, and it's going to be a high stick and penalty, kind of incidental to a certain degree, but both players released out of the penalty box, so they get a chance to finish this period with their team. But it's going to be a power play for the Hawks, and if there's one number that really jumps off the page for this Hawks, 30.6 power play. They've been successful, 11 to 38 or 36 attempts. Penalty kill for the Red Knights, a very stingy 89.6, so they've been very effective on the penalty kill. Something's got to give, Matt.
Absolutely. One Red Knight comes out of the box and one more goes right
the
back
seat's
in.
nice and warm for him.
So
hopefully that's not a trend that's going to continue for Coach Pauly.
This one bounces off the stanchion, and Chaska will have to regroup here. Again, a high sticking call on Charlie Bischel, so he'll sit for 2. Hawks trying to come across the line. After it was Joe Lynch, and swung across back down low, back behind Carson Limesand. Down low it'll come. In there for the Red Knights was Messenberg. Banked up to the point, but not out. Good keep. Swung across, and now Thomas will get it back, trying to play it over. Nice block in front there by the Red Knights, preventing that one from going through. Now Magnuson, and he'll dish it back off. Magnuson gets it back. Looking for a lane, missed the mark, as that one bounces off the back end of the net and cleared by the Red Knights.
Well, make no mistake about that one. The first one from Messenberg seemed to deaden off the wall, allowed the Hawks to keep it in the zone and work it around, but that one, no doubt about it. Just 1:02 left in the penalty to Charlie Bischel for the Red Knights.
Chaska with speed around the outside as they will come into the offensive zone. Flung back up to the point here for Lavelle. Lavelle will swing it over. 48 to go on the power play, and back over for Lavelle. Throwing it in the slot, cleared up to the point. Barrett keeps it in and moves it for Burkholder. His drive, fought off by Limesand on the blocker. Now back below the goal line as both teams have players battling for possession. In there is Lavelle for Chaska. This puck comes onto a Red Knight stick and flipped up out of play. In the NHL, that would be a delay of game, but not here at the high school level.
And that's why we appreciate the high school level so much. But Callahan kind of got surrounded by a bunch of purple jerseys and just tried to ease some pressure just up and out of play. So it was really a good play by Callahan, I thought, because it's hard to defend, especially on the PK with tired legs. So gives Coach Pauly a chance to put some fresh bodies out there. But Chaska's done a really good job of keeping the zone and actually getting some shots toward Carson Limesand. But the one that he had, he blockered it in the corner very calmly.
One back by the Hawks. Burkholder will swing it over for Lavelle. Will look for some room. Lavelle loads it up, fires it wide, and cleared up to the line, but not out, right at the top of the circle. Good keep by Burkholder. Another chance in front, broken up by the Red Knights. And they will once again clear it down. That will do it for the penalty kill. Red Knights back at full strength.
Just 25 to go in the period.
Hawks looking to move it up ahead here after they were unable to convert on their first opportunity on the power play. And now Like will Played up, chopped off a stick, and up through center. Here come the Red Knights trying to even this game up. Schweitzer around the outside, throwing it near the goal mouth. Loose in front, fought off by Weisert. Follow-up try, and that will do it for the first period of Red Knights. Trying to even it up there at the end of the first, but we'll go in with a 1-0 lead for Chaska.
Well, indeed, it was Chaska that had some zone time, but Benilde found their way out of the zone. It was Schweitzer coming in the left side, but the puck kind of danced him a little bit. His angle became a little shallow, and that's when Benilde St. Margaret's, knowing the time is running out, took some chances and tried to flood the front of the net. But the goaltender for the Hawks did a nice job with some support to keep that puck out of the net. But 1-0 Chaska going into the first intermission. If you're Coach Snuggery, you have to feel pretty good about the way that your team responded. They started out with a little bit of a struggle chasing the play a little bit, but once I think they got that goal, they settled down, and it was a 50-50 game. Almost advantaged Chaska from that point forward, but I'm sure the Red Knights are going to come out with a little better focus and a little bit more energy. But Red Knights still played a pretty sound period, giving up one. But I look forward to an outstanding second period, Matt Harrington.
It should be a good one. A reminder that today's coverage of Benilde St. Margaret's Red Knights hockey is presented in part by American Family Insurance, Tradition Companies, and more. You can check Tradition Companies out at traditioncompanies.com. And for American Family Insurance, that's amfam.com. We have a new partner as well, the Pinky Swear Foundation. We're going to take a look at the Pinky Swear Foundation a little bit more here during the intermission, but they help kids with cancer and their families with financial and emotional support. It helps ease those impacts experienced by children with cancer and their families by providing basic needs and support during a very challenging time. So we'll look into a little bit more about the Pinky Swear Foundation. And if you want to donate as well, you can go to pinkyswear.org. So we'll learn a little bit more from them and hear from Tradition and American Family Insurance as well. Benilde St. Margaret's down to Chaska 1-0 after the first. You're watching high school hockey on mnhockey.tv.
It was my night to spend the night with Mitch in the hospital, and there were some kids and families next to us. It was around Christmas time. They didn't have any Christmas gifts, and Mitch thought it would be cool if we could do something.
Cooper was 8 years old when he was diagnosed. The doctors came in and said, you know, we can't be 100% sure until we do some more tests, but these are telltale signs of leukemia.
I remember the doctor calling me and saying, there's something wrong and you need to come to my office. And I remember wanting to fall apart, but I knew I couldn't.
Cuando llega el momento que a ella la diagnostican con cáncer, pienso que es uno de los momentos más duros de la vida.
We handed out the $100 bills, went all over, and it was then that we got in the elevator, and he looked at me and he goes, Dad, that was great. And he said, can we do it again next year? And I said,
Steve just said, Mitch, we don't know if you're going to be here next year. And Mitch just said, well, Dad, if I'm not here, you need to pinky swear promise. You're going to help these families.
We had no idea what to expect. I don't think anybody does when they hear your child has cancer.
The financial impact of cancer is very real and it's devastating.
Parte del estrés que tienes con la enfermedad de tu hija, el estrés de que con qué vas a pagar los billes, con qué vas a pagar la renta, qué vas a pagar las aseguranzas.
Pinky Swear was kind enough to grant our request and actually paid our mortgage for a month.
They were gracious enough to give me a grant to help me with my car payment.
That night that Steve and Mitch made that pinky swear, we had no idea the blessings that we'd be able to give thousands of families over the past 15 years.
Without somebody like Pinky Swear to help us, I'm not sure where we would be right now.
at the end of the day, if we're blessing people, then we're doing what we set out to do.
We're going to get through this together, right? Pinky swear? No more cancer?
No more cancer.
No more chemo?
No more chemo.
Pinky swear?
Pinky swear.
Wishes and more send me to Disney World.
Hi, my name is Giovanni Lopez, and I was 17 years old when I got diagnosed with the stage 2 testicular cancer.
Hi, my name is Josh, and my wish was for a game room.
My friend got a wish from Wishes and More, and I think Wishes and More is really cool.
We wanted to make the time Emily had as full and as much of a celebration of her life as we could, and Wishes and More helped with that.
Wishes and More isn't a what, it's a who. We are comprised of volunteers and a small staff and supporters who care about the kids in our community and want to do something to make it very special for those kids or to support the families who lose their child. We actually have 3 programs.
Hi, I'm Christy, and my daughters were Abby, Rose, and Sarah Ann. We were introduced to Wishes and More when we were inpatient with Abby at University of Minnesota Children's Hospital. We made the change to have a play set installed in our backyard and have a special reclining swing for Abby that all of her medical equipment could be attached to. And within 10 days it was installed and we were playing on it in our backyard. We were able to use it every day for a full 11 days before Abby passed away.
Josh's wish still continues today because there are so many times where Josh just can't do what everyone else gets to do, and as normal as we try to make his life, it just isn't a normal life. And so when there's birthday parties he can't go to, or when there's been treatment days and he has to miss out on hockey or hockey practice, he goes down into his game room and he turns on that bubble hockey machine and it plays the Star Spangled Banner, and I know that he's in his good place and he's happy down there.
Our memorial program was developed for those very, very sad situations when a child did not survive to experience their wish. We didn't want to just say goodbye. We wanted to show them that we did care. There's no other organization that does that for any families in Minnesota, but we do.
In the fall after Abby had passed away, Sarah started showing some of the same signs that Abby had, and it was very scary. We weren't sure what was going on, and we called our doctors and they examined her right away. They were able to confirm it was the same thing happening to Sarah. We had kind of forgot about our wish application. Things went downhill very quickly. Sarah had passed away, and it was a couple days later and got a call, and Wishes and More was calling to tell us that they were at a memorial for us. Sarah was our little butterfly. She bounced around and never sat still and was always in motion. So Sarah was our little butterfly, and we wanted to build that garden in her memory.
Our Scholarship of Hope program was created in order to make sure that every child and every family that came to us knew that we were hopeful and we were looking to their future.
Wishes and More is giving a scholarship of hope to Josh, so the wish continues to keep on giving. And not only for Josh, but for us as parents who have been through a lot financially with the medical trauma that we've been through with him. It's really nice to know that Wishes and More will still be with us as his future continues.
My wish for Wishes and More was a shopping spree. I really wanted a MacBook. I knew I was heading off to college. I knew I needed a good computer to work. I got my little sister a dress because her 3rd birthday was coming up, so helped my parents out with that and got her a little dress. And I bought my little brother some shoes that they really wanted. And not only did Wishes and More grant me a wish, but they also gave me a scholarship of hope, which was $1,000 towards any college of my choosing. I come from a low-income family, so I knew that I either had to keep working to go to school or find some way to pay for college, and that scholarship of hope really helped me out and my family.
You asked who Wishes and More is? Wishes and More is you. It's simply people who care about kids, care about families who are going through some really tough times, and it's our way of wrapping our arms around them and telling them your community cares. We care about what you're going through, and we'll move mountains to do whatever we can for you. That's who Wishes and More is.
Hockey continues on the mnhockey.tv, and we're proud to bring in the man, Chad Schumacher from Tradition Wealth Management. Chad, you and I have been at this for a couple of years now, and I've been able to watch firsthand with what your organization's been able to do, not only as a wealth management firm, but what you've done in the community, and you're very engaged in it with lots of locations. So can you give us a little bit of a history lesson of where you've been and where this has gone and where it's going?
Yeah, so Tradition Wealth Management, we started in 2003 with a couple different partners that came from large institutions with the dream, and we started in a conference room with one phone between 6 employees. And now in February and Valentine's Day, we'll be 17 years old.
I'd like to have seen what that wrestling match for that one phone looked like between those employees. That must have been something else.
It was good.
So you have locations really spread throughout the Twin Cities. Can you share those locations and strategically how you landed there?
Yep. We've been in Edina since existence, and so this is where our largest operation is. And now we've recently opened up offices in Woodbury, North Oaks, downtown St. Paul by the TRIA Center, and out in Wayzata.
And then in terms of employees, what kind of coverage do you have from that respect?
I think we're up to 17 employees right now. We're still looking to grow. We're trying to hire a couple of really experienced teams to help engage with clients going forward.
You guys have been very engaged in the community throughout with lots of initiatives, which has also created some great networking opportunities for those involved. And you've had a lot of things from which to be proud of. Can you touch on some of those things that you as an organization have done?
Well, obviously it starts, we just take care of people. We deliver everything from high net worth strategies all the way to starting people from our 401ks that we work with, just with basic estate planning stuff. So we're really proud with that. We do lead with a comprehensive planning. We try not to turn over all the rocks. We realize every person's has a different set of circumstances, net worths, health issues, you name it. But we try to create a private family office for people who don't have private family offices and help them with all the investment advice that we can give them.
Well, it basically answered my next question of why are you unique, and I'm sure that's pretty much the key thing, right?
Yeah. I'd say, most people hire us. When we're managing assets for people, we're normally managing all the assets that are able to be managed, and just take their unique set of circumstances and build it to the plan that makes sense for each client we deal with.
We have tons of people out there that watch these games for real, and they all have needs, and I'm sure they're going to want to be able to get a hold of you and your team somehow. I would highly recommend that. What's the best way to reach out to get a hold of you and your team here?
I'd say just call my number. I'd be glad to talk to you and get you in touch with the right person from the right office. My direct line is 952-563-6504.
Chad, thanks a lot. Let's get back at it. Some more hockey action coming up.
Thanks. Appreciate it.
Welcome back to the St. Louis Park Rec Center here in St. Louis Park, Minnesota. It's the Chaska Hawks with a 1-0 lead over the Benilde St. Margaret's Red Knights after one period of play. Bart, good first period. The Hawks struck first, and I think we've got a good one on our hands here this afternoon.
Yeah, in fact, it was the Red Knights that came out with a really serious push off the get-go, but Chaska survived. Their goaltender certainly helped them get there, and then they scored that one goal, and they seemed to settle down, and it was Benilde that was trying to find their game again. But this is going to be a little bit probably equal to the flow, but just to give you a quick scoring summary, Jack Severson for this Chaska Hawk team at the 9:39 mark scored, I believe, his first high school goal from Bennett. Jack's shots on goal that period. Benilde St. Margaret's with 11, a majority of those in the first 6 minutes, and Chaska with 8.
So here we go, period 2 underway at the St. Louis Park Rec Center. This, of course, is a Metro West Conference game between Benilde St. Margaret's and Chaska. Red Knights playing it into the offensive zone. Jonah Mortensen with showing some good speed there for the Red Knights as it's flipped out up through center. Schweitzer tracking it down. He will play it for Gay and back to Schweitzer. Kept in at the Chaska line by Burkholder. Now the Red Knights come out. Here they come into the zone. Bassan across and just over the top. That was Jonah Mortensen who just put it a little bit too high there. Now Schweitzer in the slot looking for a redirect. Has it back on the tape. Schweitzer across and rolling off the tape there of Cooper Gay. In front again, back to the point. Schweitzer with a drive over the top, off the side of the net, and played to the corner.
Schweitzer's everywhere right now.
Now Mortensen trying to keep it in, but this one will be clawed out of there by Max Burkholder. Back to get it is Bassan for the Red Knights. And Schweitzer will play it back for his defense here. About a minute and 10 seconds into this second period of play. Already a wealth of chances for the Red Knights here in the second period. Chaska will take a hold of it at the neutral zone. Played down low into the corner by Ethan McDonald. Schweitzer will have it roll off his tape. And a little shaken up is Schweitzer there. After he took that hit, he's slow to get up and skating his way to the Benilde bench, so we'll keep an eye on him for sure.
That's definitely a point of concern.
Chaska will play it here in their own end, leading 1-0 here with about 15:15 to go in the second frame. Up ahead now, Red Knights coming to the zone. Messenberg shoots, just missed the mark. Glove side just wide of Weisert, the Chaska goaltender. Red Knights back to play it in their zone. Chaska will get a full line change here, just about a full line change. As they get back on defense. Into the zone is Callahan, roughed up along the wall. Played up to the line, but not out. Good keep on the glove down there by Grant Ellings. Into the corner, Ellings hustles after it. In there with Blake Messenberg as well. Tie up now along the wall as it's bumped back to the point. Snapshot missed the mark. And played to the right boards where the Hawks will get it out of the zone. Fired into the corner and played back below the goal line. Scholl gets taken down there into the corner now. Battle for possession, both teams with players trying to find that puck as the Red Knights emerge free with it. Pass across from Marshall, but they're offsides with 14:09 to go in the second.
Well, you want to pay particular attention to stay on sides. It was Joe Lynch that did a nice job of providing the back pressure for Chaska on the back check and really kind of move things forward a little bit quicker. But Schweitzer's still he's getting looked at. He seems like he's going to be okay, but it looked like it was a shoulder coming off the boards. He was jammed against the boards. But he did get at least some attention, but we look to see him come back and show his talents later on in this game, but a point of concern for the Red Knights.
Yeah, absolutely. He is definitely among their most valuable pieces on this team, and good to see that he looks like he'll be okay and probably back out on the ice here very soon.
Well, and the Red Knights have the depth where they should be able to withstand this for short periods of time, but you just want to see players stay healthy. And
oh, what a goal! Did you see that one? Chaska makes it 2-0, and we're going to have to take a look at this one again on replay.
Yeah,
wow.
I couldn't stop talking about that. Shane Lavelle that scored that one, and that's goal number 8, so he's one of their focused offensive players on this, but it just seemed like Line Sam was a little bit vulnerable on that, but nice keep, drew the defenseman over, put it right out, and he just chipped it up and over the sprawling goaltender, so it's 2-0 now. Chaska on top, 13:42 left in the second. Benilde has to get back and put some pressure.
He went through the legs there, Bart. I don't know if you saw that, but
I couldn't from this angle.
Beautiful goal right there,
wow.
And Chaska has now made it a 2-0 lead over the Red Knights.
I can't hear the PA announcer. I'm sorry.
All good. We'll get that squared away during the intermission.
This seems to be a common theme.
Down below the goal line now.
Too old for this, Matty.
Along the boards, Red Knights now down 2-0 here against this Chaska Hawks team, trying to find their rhythm here as they will take a hold of it at neutral ice. Gay will bump it back. Missed the pass, so it'll go back below the Benilde goal line. Up the boards now for Cooper Gay. And the Red Knights trying to move it out, but giving away to Max Burkholder, who plays it right at the line. And a delayed offsides here, as Chaska was just a little bit too early on the entry.
Yeah, it was McDonald that got caught in the zone, but to his defense, he tried like crazy, and it was Owen Thomas that brought the puck in pretty much all alone. But good angles by Chaska on the forecheck. And if the Red Knights are, Schweitzer's going into the locker room. But when the Red Knights can get out of the zone with some efficiency, they're on their game. But Chaska's really bottled them up and really contested them on the breakouts, and it's boded quite well for this Hawk team.
You mentioned Schweitzer to the locker room. That's going to be a storyline that we'll keep an eye on throughout the rest of the game, assuming that he's done for the period at least. We might see him back for the third, so we'll keep an eye and see if we can get him back out on the ice later in this game. Offsides here against Benilde with 12:22 to go.
Well, it was Asher Conley that tried to reach out and keep that puck in the zone, but it just trickled out. But yeah, the nice part about having depth for Coach Ken Pully, obviously Nate Schweitzer's a primary player on this team, but they do have the depth now, especially with Brady Akish back, that they have some pieces that they can shuffle around and still maintain their Red Knight style of play. But obviously we want to see that talented young man back on the ice joining his teammates.
This Red Knights team has had a lot of injuries so far this year. I know Messenberg was out for a little bit, and you mentioned Brady Yakish as well. So staying healthy has been a problem for them.
Well, and it's not just them. Every team has their challenges. It just seems like it's accentuated a little bit more just because we cover this team quite a bit. But there are teams, through the course of the year that are going to have their bumps through the road, but it's the ones that can persevere and get through those tough challenges are the ones that seem to have a better chance for success. But we want everybody healthy so they can play with their teammates and be effective.
Flipped into the zone by Selton, and Limestone will snag it for the whistle. 11:44 remaining here in the second period. Chaska with a 2-0 lead over Benilde St. Margaret's.
Well, and there's been some play down in the Benilde zone too, so a nice continuation for this Hawk team through the first session to the second. But Benilde, they just seem like they aren't as crisp as they were in the first 5 minutes, and I don't think it's lack of focus. I just think the Hawks are playing a better game now.
Good speed through center by Adam Marshall. Dishes it off. Here's the shot. That one missed the mark. As Weishart had to get back and ready right away. Red Knights trying to come through the zone, but intercepted. Good speed across. Here's Olmshed trying to throw it near for a teammate along that left boards, but nobody was home.
Yeah, he was all alone.
Now the Red Knights come 2-on-2 the other way into the zone. Here's the shot deflected out of play for another stoppage.
Well, now it's Adam Marshall. It was Messenberg that put it up to Marshall. Marshall was being contested by the defenseman, and I believe it was Calvin Barrett. But maybe dropping it back to Messenberg and taking the defenseman with you would have freed up some space for Messenberg, but I'm not here to coach or to tell him what to do. But good defensive play by the Chaska Hawks. I just think the Red Knights didn't make the most of their opportunity.
Face-off won by the Red Knights here as they get it back. One-timer. Not much on the shot, but a knuckleballer fought off there by Weishart.
And Marshall, I think, actually got it above his shoulders and put it toward the net.
This one comes out of the zone. As hustling back after it is Tristan Sarsland, the Benilde defenseman. Here's a chance, and blocked off the stick. Losing his stick, actually it was broken, was Sarsland, who haven't seen a lot of him today, but nice play by him defensively. As you can see, he's trying to get a stick from a teammate maybe here defensively.
The Hawks actually walked into a slap shot. He's lucky that it actually hit his stick because that had some velocity on it, but very gutsy to get in front of that shot. But yeah, it broke right at the shaft too. That might come into play.
Back down to Chaska territory as Benilde will get a line change here. Outlet pass connects right at center. And the Red Knights will try and come right back into the zone and get something going. Here they come along the right side. Thrown towards the slot. Weishart fights it off. And now the Hawks will come forward with Ethan McDonald. Here's McDonald with Lynch. That one sails off the glass. Kicked down low into the corner. As Seamus Foley will drop it back here for the Red Knights. 10 minutes to play in period number 2. The visiting Hawks with a 2-0 lead. Here's a giveaway. Here's Scholl trying to dish it off. Broken up once again by that Red Knights defense. Getting a lot of blocked shots and opportunities here. Trailing 2-0. They need more of that.
And I think that broken shaft of the stick worked into play.
Back down to get it is Seamus Foley. Still swinging around. Just missing that broken stick down there in the corner.
It always happens, Matt.
Up ahead, here come the Red Knights now with a 3-on-2. Dished off across the line, and they were way offsides there.
Well, it's kind of frustrating because they aren't getting very many opportunities, and I'm not picking on the kids, but you have to pay particular attention because you stopped a 3-on-2 and odd man rush, and that's ideally what you want through the neutral zone by sneaking in a step ahead of the play. That's something that this Red Knight team's going to have to clean up because the way Chaska's playing, they're not getting many opportunities like that coming down the ice.
So face off outside the zone and a chance for them to try and reset here. They trail 2-0, 9:18 to go in the second. Hawks coming across the line now with some speed. This one deflects off a stick and out of play.
And also keep in mind, Matt, that this Chaska team's up by 2 goals now.
Yeah.
And I think that this 2-goal lead affords them to be able to play a little bit more comfortable. I'm not saying that they're comfortable out there, but they still have their intensity and their will to compete, but they're playing more a flowing game than they were earlier when they were chasing.
There's a pass at the back door and just missed the mark. That was a perfect feed from Burkholder down low, but it just missed the mark. Good chance for the Hawks. Now the Hawks will get it. Big hit there and a penalty coming up against the Red Knights.
Boy,
I don't know about that one.
Neither do I. He was about 25 to 30 feet away. I think it looked a lot more intense than it was, but it was Shane Lavelle on the receiving end of that. But it looks like it's going to be Tristan Sarsla. No, it's going to be Bischel that's going to go to the box.
Levin White minor Neem.
Neem. How about that?
It's a tough call.
Don't see that one a lot, do you?
And he was trying to get out of the way of the check, I think, a little bit. But let's move on. It's going to be a power play for the Chaska Hawks. So the challenge is in front of the Red Knights to pick up their teammate and get through this penalty kill. And they have about a 90% penalty kill against a 30% power play. So 2 solid special teams going to go head-to-head. 8:55 left in the second period. Chaska by 2 and on the power play. Second
power play of the game for the Hawks. They are 0 for 1 so far. And Messenberg will try and come shorthanded for the Red Knights. The Benilde St. Margaret's JV team scored a shorthanded goal today.
Did they really?
They did, and I think Benilde would like to get one here on the varsity team.
Yeah, they wouldn't turn it down, would they?
No. Back behind the net, McDonald has it, and he'll bump it back to the point. Swung across over for Scholl. Now back to the point, big shot deflects into the corner. Looks like that one caught McDonald in front of the goal. He goes down, and this one will be banked up to the point again, but not out. Good keep at the line by the Hawks. This one misses the mark. Thrown to the far side where it's kept in by Barrett, and back for Scholl. One-timer to Barrett, and that one caught a stick, deflecting its way to the corner and cleared out by the Red Knights.
Boy, there's a lot of bodies in front of Carson Limeshand. I don't think he's really getting a very good look at this puck, but this is the kind of situation where Nate Schweitzer would come in very, very handy. He controls the play, controls the tempo. So far, Benilde's done a good job of at least congesting the scoring areas, but Chaska a pretty good job of possession.
Play right up in front of our ice mic there as it's gathered in by the Hawks now in the defensive zone. Burkholder will go back to play it. 7:35 to go in the period, 38 to go on the power play for the Chaska Hawks, who already lead it 2-0. Nice moves through the neutral zone, dancing his way into the zone as Magnuson back behind the net. Magnuson will play it to the point. Nice move at the line by Lavelle. Looking for the back door. In front, they score! The Hawks cash in on the power play, and it is 3-0.
Well, it looked like it was Olmsted that finally finished that one out, but I thought that there might have been an interference penalty against this Hawk team because they basically set a pick.
4-21.
26 from 4 and 21, so that's Olmsted from Burkholder and Lavelle on the goal for the Hawks. And you see Messenberg on the, or right in front of the scorer's table trying to talk with the official. Probably exactly what you were talking about, Bart, about that interference.
Well, he used his body. I mean, if you get away with it, it's a great play. But again, I've seen so many interference penalties called throughout the course of the season that one could have fit. But again, nonetheless, the score is on the scoreboard. So Benilde's got a challenge in front of him. There's a reason why Coach Pauly has 500 wins, is he knows when to call timeout and settle his kids down because they're starting to chase. But again, the Hawks in the power play had good possession, put some good shots toward. And it was the Red Knights that were chasing the play. And when the Red Knights chase the play, they're taking themselves out of their own game. Again, tap on the shins of the Hawks. They've come in and really inflicted their will and done it methodically too. I mean, it's not just 3 shots and they get lucky by getting a goal. They're putting sustained pressure on and keeping the puck in the offensive zone. Like we talked about, the benefit of the power play obviously works into the mix, but this Hawks team is playing with confidence, and the longer that they can kind of keep in this situation, the more confidence they're going to have to close this game out. But Benilde's got to get on their horse and start to kind of get back into the offensive flow of this game.
They do, and you talked about the pressure from Chaska. They've been good, but at the same time, you also have to think Benilde's kind of gotten unlucky in a lot of ways. Schweitzer got hurt in this game. They had a penalty called against them that probably shouldn't have been called, that a goal was scored on, so they've had some bad luck thrown in there too.
But, it's something that you just have to power through. You have to show the resolve and resiliency to be able to handle these kind of challenges because, they are going to surface. Now, things have a tendency to balance themselves out, but I think Benilde just has to get back to playing Red Knight hockey, and that's all about possession and speed through the neutral zone, but it all starts getting out of their zone with efficiency.
It's a 3-0 lead for Chaska, and Benilde, as you mentioned, Bart, needs to get on their horse here, down 3-0. Still about 6:55 to play in the second period. A lot of time. They need to get something going soon. Here's Messenberg into the zone. Throws it on net and held onto by Weishart for the whistle.
Well, keep in mind we have 6:47 left in the second period, and we haven't said Weishart's name in a long period of time, and that has obviously the power play works into it, but that just shows how well this Chaska team is defending, and it's all about possession. Possession's the great defender, and the more it's on the Hawks stick, it stays off the talented sticks of the Red Knights. So pretty good game plan by Coach Snuggerud so far, and they're implementing it quite well.
The Hawks today are, of course, without Jimmy Snuggerud, their leading scorer, who has 11 goals and 10 assists, and he's been hurt for a couple of games, I know.
And those are the challenges that other teams face as well.
So, and of course, Snuggerud, only a freshman this year, but he's going to be a lot of fun to watch throughout this Chaska program coming up in the years to come. Here they come into the zone now. Lynch, saved by Limesand. He was able to get that shot off after being hounded by a couple of Benilde players.
That was a great battle by Lynch. He won that one, used his body to protect the puck and got a shot off. Nice job, young man.
Messenberg up ahead now for the Red Knights as they come into the offensive zone. Here's a snapper, deflects into the corner and thrown up around to the other sideboards where it's taken by Adam Marshall. Bump it down low. Messenberg back for Marshall. Thrown towards the front off a Chaska stick and up to the boards. Trying to get it out there was Lynch, couldn't do so as the Red Knights keep it. We'll get a quick line change on defense. Go back to get it. This will be not an icing. It was close, just not enough juice on it there. Red Knights will try and get it out of the zone here. That one went off a skate, so they'll have to go back. The Red Knights have had a lot of problems with breaking out the puck here today, Bart.
Well, there's a lot of pressure, good angles by the Hawks team, but they're not doing themselves any favors with, you have to, if you're going to get it side to side, you got to put a little oomph on the passes. They have to wait for the puck to arrive, and that's when Chaska can close that gap and really put pressure on. So the Red Knights, they're struggling a little bit. Obviously right now 5-16 to kind of turn the corner here, but I think the timeout was good. It seemed to settle them down and kind of refocus them because they did come down with some offensive zone time. Now they need something to build on, but the Chaska Hawks are doing a good job of weathering the storm.
Got a couple of other really good games coming up here for you tonight on MNHockey.tv at 7 o'clock. We will have St. Michael Albertville and Eden Prairie. Tell you what, that St. Michael Albertville team has been playing spoiler for a lot of different teams throughout the year. They're better than people think.
I was going to say, when do they get rid of the spoiler tag? Because you are correct. I've heard that on a number of occasions. But they're skating with the big boys. But a nice late conference matchup there. We also have another one over at Braemar Arena at 7:30. It's the Wayzata Trojans that are going to invade the hallowed halls of Braemar Arena to face the Edina Hornets, who, Wayzata's playing some pretty good hockey of late. Edina's still kind of looking to find their groove, but they're playing okay defensively. I think goals are just kind of a little bit hard to come by, which is unusual for a program from Edina.
So 2 late conference matchups on tap here tonight. Of course, this is a Metro West Conference battle between these two teams. Benilde will try and get it on the faceoff here in the offensive zone. 4:54 to go in the second. Red Knights trailing by 3. Off the draw, here's Bischel. Back to the point. Where is it? Behind the net, and somehow kept out by Weishart. My goodness.
Well, he did a nice job of making the initial save. It was a good shot by Foley, a good wrist shot. Had a little weight behind it because the goaltender made the save, but it crawled up and over his shoulder, and that's when it got a little contentious for him. but he had the nice recovery skills to turn around, keep that puck out of the net. But those are good things. Those are little bricks that they can build on to get their foundation. But things are slowly turning for Benilde St. Margaret's. But again, the effort hasn't waned from this Hawk team either.
Big chance held out there by Weishart, and the Hawks will come with it now up through center. Here's Bennett Jacks into the zone, fought off by Foley, and nice outlet pass for Bischel. Good speed now from the Red Knights. Bischel, nifty move, thrown to the corner, again out in front, but broken up off some Chaska sticks, and they will clear it out of the zone back to Benilde territory.
Well, but Barrett played that absolutely perfect on the defensive side, really limited what could have been a good opportunity for the Red Knights.
Here's Asher Connolly behind the net, working with Max Burkholder, and he got hit hard, and I think we're going to have a penalty here against the Hawks.
Well, and then to add insult to injury, just the dump back in hit Asher Connolly as well. Not hard or anything, but it is going to be a really good opportunity for this Red Knight team to kind of get back into the flow. That's where power plays come into it. Obviously, you have the man advantage, a little bit more room to work, but it is going to be Max Burkholder, the sophomore defenseman, going to go for the Hawks. But 4:05 left. Really good time if you're a Red Knight fan to be on the power play. It all starts with the face-off. It looks like it's going to be Thomas against Bichon.
First power play of the game for the Red Knights, 18.4% on the year for them, 9 for 49. So it will see what they can do here.
Well,
so they'll go back and take it.
You look at that, Matt, and you look at the talent on this team, and then you see an 18% power play. Something's kind of missing, and it's something that they likely will get worked out. There's too much talent to keep that number that low.
Of course, no Schweitzer. Again, for those of you who are just joining us, he left the game, or at least headed to the locker room early in the second period with an injury after taking a hit in the corner. So he's done for the rest of the period. We'll keep an eye on him for the third.
Well, and I don't think there's any rush to bring him back. You want to make sure that you take care of the young man, make sure you don't put him in any bad situation. Ooh, there's a misplay right there.
Icing, so back to Benilde territory as they'll have a defensive zone draw on the power play.
Well, and this is a great opportunity just for Chaska. You know, the advantage of being a man down with an offensive zone faceoff is you can get possession and really maybe put some pressure on. They're just looking to burn some time, just 1:08 left in the penalty. Burkholder for the Hawks. But Limestone just missed Mortensen, who's been one of the hotter Red Knights of late on that pass. I like the idea, though.
Mortensen's had some good speed throughout the day, and a lot of other Red Knights have shown good bursts of speed as well here this afternoon.
Ooh, the puck top over his stick. But no, Mortensen started out the year playing very well with energy, doing the right things, but just goals were very hard to come by. It looks like he's kind of found his offensive stride.
Marshall will play it up ahead and bump forward for Bischel across the line. He'll fire it down below the goal line, where Marshall will go back to track it, pinned up along the wall. And Marshall took a awkward collision there. Yakish back to the point. Mortensen back to Yakish, that one way wide.
Wow.
As it bounced off the glass. Follow-up try, held on to by Weishart for the whistle.
Well, I think I had that offering from Yakish. If that was golf, he'd be stroking distance. That one would have been OB. But again, they're getting the shots. They close the door to the zone a little bit. But Burkholder just 28 seconds left, 2:32 left in the penalty, 2:32 left in the period. But Benilde showing some life, and that's got to give them energy. Even if they don't score on this, they aren't going to lose any energy. They may not gain it, but if the Hawks can kill this off, that's going to give them a little buoyancy as well.
Here's Yakish back to the point. They score!
Wow.
Power play goal from the point. May have been redirected, but regardless, it's 3-1 Chaska.
Well, and there's one player that has been a little challenge on the score sheet, and that's Blake Messenberg. Just 2 goals. That would be his third if it holds true. It may have been redirected, but it's a power play goal, and it's going to give this Red Knight. It got that cipher out the scoreboard. So now it's 3-1. They're 2 good shots away, but a nice power play. Really good timeout. Seems to settle things down, moving their feet. Yeah, it was Messenberg just going to get it.
Yakish and Callahan with the 2 assists on the goal from Blake Messenberg. 1:58 to go in the period. Red Knights work it back up to the point. Down low into the corner as the Red Knights will try and keep it in the zone. This one will go for an icing. Or no, officials waved it off. Looked like we were going to have it
Nice
there for
touch.
a minute. Callahan will take it here for the Red Knights, and up the boards they will come. Nice pass off the skate. Red Knights back into the zone, and this one will row to Weisert for the whistle.
Well, you notice that the Red Knights have a little bit more spring in their step, a little better focus, and a little bit more determination. They have more of a this is my puck mentality. And Chaska doesn't look any worse for the wear. I like their body language. They're still just playing hawk hockey right now, but it's 3-1, 1:30 left, so both teams likely would like to stay out of the penalty box and finish this period strong, go into the locker room with some good feels.
Off the draw, Chaska wins it back, and they'll try and throw it up the boards here, but right there for the Red Knights was Foley. He dishes it back off. Now the Red Knights come through center. Cooper Gay into the zone. Dropped it back right out of the zone. It will come again as the Hawks try and move into the offensive zone. Lavelle looking for that loose puck, as it'll be taken a hold of now below the goal line by Gay and up the boards. Red Knights struggling to break out here as Foley had it on the tape for a minute. Now rolls right to Cooper Gay into the zone. There's Gay, saved by Weisert, rebound in the slot and pushed to the corner by Rinzel for Chaska. Blocked in front as it will come to the boards. Banked out by the Hawks, or not out. Good keep by Jackson Bassan in front off a stick and out of play with 41.8 to go in the second.
Well, it was Cooper Gay that actually put that shot on goal. It was a really nice save by Wishart, but there were 3 Hawks down to defend, so they're still minding their defensive responsibilities, which is one thing that you cannot get lax on against this Red Knight team. So good save by the goaltender, good support by the defenseman. Come back and clear that zone.
Off the draw, Red Knights win it. On that right wing side, bump back down low. In there is Messenberg to try and help out. Look out, that one came awfully close in front of the crease there, but nothing doing for Benilde St. Margaret's. They'll bump it back down low. Messenberg to play at 22 to go in the period. Takes a big hit up along the wall. Will come in and pinch it. Messenberg will take that spot at the right point. Thrown out in front, steered away by Burkholder. Sarsland will bump it down low. Good job by the Hawks defensively. McDonald trying to get it out. He will come up with it here. 3 to go in the period. Got to get a shot off quick. Shoots, blocked, and that will do it for the second period, as Benilde gets one on the board here before the end of the second, but they still have a lot of work to do here. Bart down 3-1.
Yeah, indeed. In the way this Hawks team is playing, it's not going to be easy to come back, but they're just 2 good shots away, and they certainly have the wherewithal to do it. But I like the way that Benilde finished the period with some good energy. They're getting behind the defense, and they're really putting the puck out into the scoring area. But Chaska really is turned in a solid performance today, and they're sustaining it too, which is not an easy thing to do when you come to a hostile environment like the Rec Center against this Red Knight team. But if you're Coach Snuggery, you still have to feel awful good about the way that your team performed that period. And if you're Coach Pauly, you have to like what you saw the last 5-6 minutes of that period. I thought they showed up. So it's going to be a fun one in this third period. Just 2 good shots down. So you know Benilde's going to come out with some serious fire.
Yeah, absolutely. And of course, Schweitzer, for those that joined late, left the game with an injury, or at least left the ice during the middle of the second period. Not sure if we'll see him back or not. Probably a good decision to keep him out, I would think, here for the third.
You're on the side of caution, especially. It doesn't matter who it is on the team, but you just can't put them out there if they're going to be vulnerable, a chance to either further the injury or re-injure themselves and put themselves in a vulnerable spot. They'll make the right decision. The Red Knights have been doing this a long time, and they usually or most always make the right decision. So it'd be nice to see him, but if it's prudent to keep him off the ice, keep him off the ice and let him skate another game.
So Chaska leads Benilde St. Margaret's 3-1 after 2 periods of play. We'll take a break for the second intermission. You're watching high school hockey on mnhockey.tv.
It was my night to spend the night with Mitch in the hospital, and there were some kids and families next to us. It was around Christmas time. They didn't have any Christmas gifts, and Mitch thought it would be cool if we could do something.
Cooper was 8 years old when he was diagnosed. The doctors came in and said, you know, we can't be 100% sure until we do some more tests, but these are telltale signs of leukemia.
I remember the doctor calling me and saying, there's something wrong and you need to come to my office. And I remember wanting to fall apart, but I knew I couldn't.
Cuando llega el momento que a ella la diagnostican con cáncer, pienso que es uno de los momentos más duros de la vida.
We handed out the $100 bills, went all over, and it was was then that we got in the elevator and he looked at me and he goes, "Dad, that was great." And he said, "Can we do it again next year?" And I said,
Steve just said, "Mitch, we don't know if you're going to be here next year." And Mitch just said, "Well, Dad, if I'm not here, you need to pinky swear promise. You're going to help these families."
We had no idea what to expect. I don't think anybody does when they hear your child has cancer.
The financial impact of cancer is very real and it's devastating.
Parte del estrés que tienes con la enfermedad de tu hija, el estrés de que con qué vas a pagar los billes, con qué vas a pagar la renta, qué vas a pagar las aseguranzas.
Pinky Swear was kind enough to grant our request and actually paid our mortgage for a month.
They were gracious enough to give me a grant to help me with my car payment.
That night that Steve and Mitch made that pinky swear, we had no idea the blessings that we'd be able to give thousands of families over the past 15 years.
Without somebody like Pinky Swear to help us, I'm not sure where we would be right now.
at the end of the day, if we're blessing people, then we're doing what we set out to do.
We're going to get through this together, right? Pinky swear? No more cancer?
No more cancer.
No more chemo?
No more chemo.
Pinky swear?
Pinky swear.
I think that being in a sport, it has built into it the concept that we are going to face a challenge. When we do sport the right way, we are teaching values. We're teaching kids how to be hard workers. We're teaching kids how to be courageous, to be fearless. Dynamites, because we have a focus on whole life youth development, physical, academic, social and spiritual excellence, we get that we're trying to develop people to be whole people. And I think that when you combine that mission with sport, I think you naturally get that. We have programs in each of those four areas. We have ice hockey for physical excellence. Academic excellence includes academic support like one-on-one tutoring. We have a summer academic camp. Social excellence includes our big community service project, Greg Carroll Learn to Skate, and also we're faith-based. So when kids are old enough, they have the choice to go to summer camp, kind of that traditional summer church camp. Every kid in the program has multiple mentors. If they're in tutoring, they have a very special mentor that's just their very own. And then of course the hockey coaches are mentors, and of course all the staff are mentors too. We have a very high retention rate. Dynamite's high school graduation rate over 20 years is 85%. And over the last 5 years, 96% have graduated, which is really significant because right now Minneapolis Public Schools is reporting that their graduation rate is 53%. So that, I think, is another measure that shows that Dynamites is working. Being a faith-based organization, I think we're able to say things that are really powerful sometimes. You might say to the kids, like, we're gonna do some hard things today. And we want you to remember we can do all things through Christ who gives me strength. A few minutes later, we might be asking them to do that hard thing and you got heads down and panting. And remind them, remember, you have strength. God's given you the strength to do this. You have the strength that you need inside you right now. They might even remember the moments where they began to believe that, where they began to believe, I should be fearless. Only believe, do not fear.
Hockey continues on the mnhockey.tv, and we're proud to bring in the man, Chad Schumacher from Tradition Wealth Management. Chad, you and I have been at this for a couple of years now, and I've been able to watch firsthand with what your organization's been able to do, not only as a wealth management firm, but what you've done in the community, and you're very engaged in it with lots of locations. So Can you give us a little bit of a history lesson of where you've been and where this has gone and where it's going?
Yeah, so Traditional Wealth Management, we started in 2003 with a couple different partners that came from large institutions with the dream, and we started in a conference room with one phone between 6 employees. And now in February on Valentine's Day, we'll be 17 years old.
I'd like to have seen what that wrestling match for that one phone looked like between those employees. That must have been something else.
It was good.
So you have locations really spread throughout the Twin Cities. Can you share those locations and strategically how you landed there?
Yep. We've been in Edina since existence, and so this is where our largest operation is. And now we've recently opened up offices in Woodbury, North Oaks, downtown St. Paul by the TRIA Center, and out in Wayzata.
And then in terms of employees, what kind of coverage do you have from that respect?
I think we're up to 17 employees right now. We're still looking to grow. We're trying to hire a couple of really experienced teams to help engage with clients going forward.
You guys have been very engaged in the community throughout with lots of initiatives, which has also created some great networking opportunities for those involved. And you've had a lot of things from which to be proud of. Can you touch on some of those things that you as an organization have done?
Well, obviously it starts, we just take care of people. We deliver everything from high net worth strategies all the way to starting people from our 401ks that we work with, just with basic estate planning stuff. So we're really proud with that. We do lead with the comprehensive planning. We try not to turn over all the rocks. We realize every person's has a different set of circumstances, net worths, health issues, you name it. But we try to create a private family office for people who don't have private family offices and help them with all the investment advice that we can give them.
Well, it basically answered my next question of why are you unique, and I'm sure that's pretty much the key thing, right?
Yeah. I'd say, most people hire us. When we're managing assets for people, we're normally managing all the assets that are able to be managed, and just take their unique set of circumstances and build it to the plan that makes sense for each client we deal with.
We have tons of people out there that watch these games for real, and they all have needs, and I'm sure they're going to want to be able to get a hold of you and your team somehow. I would highly recommend that. What's the best way to reach out to get a hold of you and your team here?
I'd say just call my number. I'd be glad to talk to you and get you in touch with the right person from the right office. My direct line is 952-563-6504.
Chad, thanks a lot. Let's get back at it. Some more hockey action coming up.
Thanks. Appreciate it.
Too heavy? Try it.
I got it.
Lift it up. 1, 2, 3. Good. Looks great.
Wow. This looks amazing. Can I help you make a few?
Sure.
You sure?
Uh-huh.
Hi, I'm Derek. Nice to meet you. So how long have you been doing this?
2 years.
2 years. So you're an expert.
Yes.
Can you do one with my name?
Sure.
D-E-R-E-K?
D-R-E-K.
D-E-R-E-K.
D-E-R-E-K?
Yes.
Okay.
What's the ultimate dream for your business?
I really wish I had more bracelets to make every single day.
What do you do with the money?
We have this hunger project that I give back to the kids that don't have enough money to buy food.
So the more bracelets you make, the more money you raise, and then the more kids you can help out. How long have you had this dream?
10 years.
So you're 6 years old and you had the dream for 10 years. That's pretty good. That's someone that knows what they want to do in life.
Yeah.
Okay, now, what do you think about this?
Ooh.
Pretty good?
Yep.
Okay.
right down below.
Welcome back to the St. Louis Park Rec Center. Chaska with a 3-1 lead over the Benilde St. Margaret's Red Knights. Bart, let's go through the scoring summary quick.
Well, I'm just going to give you the goals real quick. It was Severson that opened the scoring in the first period for Chaska, scoring his first from Jax. And then Shane Laval for Chaska. And then Olmscheid for Chaska, 3-0 lead. But Benilde St. Margaret's came back. It was Messenberg scoring his third shots on goal that period. 6 for Chaska, 2-period total of 14. And 15 for Benilde St. Margaret, 2-period total of 26.
Here's a stop by Lime Sand made. Chaska looking to strike again here, get their lead back up to 3 goals. Here's a shot that's blocked in front. Hawks will get it right back on their tape though as they go around the outside. And now the Red Knights will pick it up here on the right wing side. Here's Callahan up through center, dishes it off. Ellings leaving it for Messenberg, who will flip it around back behind the net. Good defense there by the Hawks, freeing that puck up for a moment. Red Knights wanted a penalty called there, but nothing will happen as we'll play on down low. Messenberg trying to find a man in front. And he'll go up to the boards now, chop that in back to the point. Holding on to it is Messenberg. He'll slide it across. Snapshot save there by the goaltender Weisert. And Chaska will try and move it up, but good job by Messenberg. You mentioned it earlier, Bart, he's been all over the ice here today.
Sometimes when you get a goal, it takes the big monkey off his back. Obviously, he's an offensive player with 2 goals coming into this contest. I'm sure he was squeezing the stick a little bit, wondering when that opportunity is going to come. He made it count, and sometimes it just takes so much pressure off you. You can get your focus back and get a little confidence. He did a nice job of stepping into that play and keeping that zone exit for the Chaska Hawks. But Messenberg, if he's on his game, that bodes very well for this Red Knight team.
There's a shot that goes wide. That was Mortensen looking for the goal there for the Red Knights. He'll pick it up here in the left corner. Mortensen backhanding it back below the goal line now as it's picked up by the Hawks. Trying to move it out of the zone as Goodrich stood up at the line. Loose puck whacked at by Mortensen here in the corner. Finds his teammate. Turnaround try there from Foley. Gets its way to the corner. And now the Hawks will try and get it out of the zone. They do. Goodrich dumps it off. He'll come off the ice for a change, and the Hawks are offsides.
Well, it was Owen Thomas that just lifted his skate up. Otherwise, he had the blue line straddled, but I think he got off the center of his skates and just lifted up 1 foot. So kind of a break for the Red Knights, so to speak, because it was Chaska coming down with some numbers.
So face-off outside the Benilde zone here. 15:03 to go in this third and final period. 3-1 lead for Chaska. For those that are just joining us, maybe wondering why you're not seeing Nate Schweitzer out there for the Red Knights. He was injured and headed off early in the second period for the Red Knights, so we assume that he is done for the game here for the Red Knights. So big loss there for Benilde St. Margaret's.
Well, and also keep in mind, you brought it up before, Jimmy Snuggerud for the Hawks, their leading scorers out of this game, so kind of balances the scale in a weird kind of way, but it'd be nice to have both of them out there, but just take care of the young man.
Red Knights in the neutral zone. Trying to play it ahead was Callahan, intercepted by Lynch. So he took a big collision there along the wall. Into the corner now. Red Knights will pick it up below the goal line as they swing it across. Intended target Asher Connolly took a weird hop off the boards. And it'll go back below the goal line now for the Red Knights. Back behind the net. And up the boards, out through center, and just unable to keep it in there were the Hawks. So another offsides call.
Sam Renzel that tried to keep that in. He did a pretty good job, but the linesman was right there. But you're right, that puck did take a kind of a funny care, but that's where the Zamboni comes off the ice. I'm sure there's probably some residual snow or something, but that reaction was a little bit different. Kind of helped Chaska to get back into position and keep the zone, or try to keep the zone.
We're under 14 minutes to play here in the third, as the Hawks will take a hold of it now in their own end. Good forecheck here from the Red Knights, back below the goal line. Renzel, long pass up ahead, finds his man. Here come the Hawks into the zone. Good job by Brady Yakish forcing him to the corner there. And now played up along that right boards. Red Knights trying to get it out of the zone here. All kinds of bodies right there at that right point. And they'll get it down the length of the ice where it'll be taken a hold of by William Magnuson. Gather the troops and come up the ice. Selton back for Magnuson, and a big hit along the wall as it's taken by Adam Marshall. Marshall's pass intercepted by the Hawks. This will be flipped up and out of play with 13:05 to go.
Well, Magnuson, pretty good anticipation on that one. He just got under that puck a little more than he wanted, but they saw the breakout coming. He just jumped the route, intercepted the pass, but they had a Chaska Hawk down low, so he just tried to dump it back in, but up and out of play outside the Benilde St. Margaret zone. But time is going to start becoming an issue for this Red Knight team, because the longer they go without getting it within a goal, Chaska is going to get more confidence and probably play more stingy defense. The important part about Chaska right now is just mind the defensive zone, and it starts in the neutral zone. Don't allow Benilde St. Margaret to get speed through the neutral zone with possession. So far, they've done a pretty good job of that.
Well, Bart, I gotta ask, are you heading to Braemar tonight for the Wayzata Edina game?
Indeed, I am.
That's where I thought you'd be.
Sure.
That should be a good one, though. I'm looking forward to it.
Well, it always is whenever they play, but you have that defensive minded Wayzata team coached by Coach O'Leary that they get in front of all the block shots, and shots have been a challenge for Edina, so something's got to give tonight, but it's going to be a good one regardless.
Benilde taking it behind the net. Here's Tristan Sarsland with good speed on the left side. Sarsland cutting inside, lost the handle on it as it's fired off the boards, but kept in. Here's Gabe with the shot, fought off by Weisert. Steered to the corner by the Chaska defense. In there as well as Bassan for the Red Knights. Now to the other side, Cooper Gay will try and take a hold of that puck. Also in there is Calvin Barrett for the Hawks. Up along the boards now, Scholl in there for Chaska. In front, trying to cut his way inside was Cooper Gay, but it'll come back to the point. Yakish unable to hold it, so the Red Knights will have to regroup. Hawks have it in their own end, 11:52 to go in the third period. This one off some sticks, no icing, as it's fully into the corner for Benilde. Now taken a hold of and moved up the boards. Good speed from the Red Knights through center, but just mishandled. At the line could be a 2-on-2, but broken up. Connolly was right there for the Red Knights. Now here's a shot that deflects into the corner to the right of Lime Sand. Now back to the point, nice pass across. Here's the shot right into the midsection of Carson Limesand, who makes the stop.
Well, Magnuson, nice keep, got it over to Burkholder, and he just let one rip. It was about a foot off the ice. Limesand had good sidelines on that, but this is the line that generally gives the Red Knights a little bit of energy, and it's Charlie Warner, Bischel, and Thompson. And they come out and they bang some bodies, but they have a good pace about them, and it does change sometimes the momentum of the game. So Coach Pauly kind of relying on them to turn the tides for Benilde, but I thought there'd be a little bit more offensive pressure by this Red Knight team, but more of a credit to the Hawks.
Still a lot of time left, 11:12 to go here in the third, so the Red Knights still have quite a bit of time, but need to get going soon. Here's Chaska in the offensive zone trying to strike again. Swung over by Magnuson, and here is Burkholder now. Shot missed the mark. Hustling after it into the corner for Chaska is Lavelle. Thrown on net. Limesand fights it off with the glove there. Nice work.
That was a good shot.
Cleared up to the line, but not out. Good keep by the Hawks. Red Knights take a hold of it now as they flip it up off a stick. And coming into the zone is Bischel. Leaving it off here. Dropped back by Warner. And around to the other side. Played in the corner by Charlie Warner, who tries to throw it towards the net. Just missed the mark. And now back and bumped to the point. This one will be played down low by Yakish. Looking for that one-timer. And I think Weiser just got a piece of it there with the pad. Down low again. Red Knights with some good offensive zone time. Here's Yakish with a drive. And that one goes out of play. Big opportunities there for Benilde St. Margaret's.
Well, indeed, but you got to get the shots on goal. But again, I like the position on this Hawks team. They don't chase the play. They mind their possession. For this Red Knight team to really get some good possession and movement. A lot of the shots are originating from the point, and those are manageable. But you have to like the energy from the Red Knights. But I love the defense of Chaska so far. They're supporting their goaltender.
Off the draw, Yakish loading it up again. A wrister was turned aside off that pad of Carter Weisert. And along the wall now, thrown out in front again, but right there was that Chaska defense to clear it out. Yakish will go back and track it down, but this is an icing against the Hawks.
Well, and Jakic sold it to where he didn't skate too fast. I think they wanted that whistle, but one thing that I want everybody to kind of look for is when Benilde presses a little bit, sometimes they get too many people on one side of the ice. They had 4 guys around the puck within about a 10-foot radius. You want to have better spacing than that, left a lot of open space, but they're just trying to make a play.
Quick snapper, caught a body in front, bouncing its way to the corner. Geertsen will play it down low. Now the Hawks pick it up and ring it around the near side boards. This will be another icing, but it's not going to have enough juice on it once again, so be taken by Tristan Sarsland. Sarsland up ahead, Geertsen at center ice. All kinds of bodies right along that blue line, and now taking a hold of. Quick snapper, steered away into the corner by Limesand. And up the boards it will come, where the Red Knights will take a hold of it, at least for a moment. Pushed back down low. Back below the goal line, Callahan tied up with a Hawk. Big hit there, frees up the puck. And Callahan will dish it back down low. Up the boards, Red Knights trying to break out. So go back into Chaska territory. Fresh set of lines out here, or fresh set of players rather, for the Benilde St. Margaret's Red Knights. Into the zone, chasing after it is Burkholder. Nice pass in the slot. Limesand fights it off. Rebound still loose in the slot as it will go to the corner now. Banked up and out of the zone by the Red Knights. Hawks with some good forechecking and physical pressure here in the offensive zone. That pass misses the mark, now finds its man on the wing. Chaska will take a hold of it for a moment along the wall. Right there was Scholl. The intensity of this game has certainly picked up a notch here, Bart, in this third period.
Indeed it has.
Comes Chaska into the zone. Nice move. Oh, it scores! Thought Limesand had it there for a moment, but I believe it's Renzel that buries it for the goal.
In fact, I think you're right. I think it's number 20, but what a nice goal it was. Just danced around the defenseman and put it far side on Carson Limesand as momentum took Limesand really out of position a little bit, but there you see the nice dangle there, and you see Limesand maybe a little overcommitment, but not much. That was just a good shot and a good goal. Now it's 4-1, 8:13 left. So this Chaska team's really played this period the way they need to. There's a pretty good front-running team. They're keeping the puck at bay, keeping things to the outside, but now the task at hand gets a little steeper and tougher for this Red Knight team.
That was another pretty goal there by the Hawks, and they've had a couple of those here so far today.
Yeah, they've earned every one of them too.
Red Knights across the line now. That one missed the mark. 7:53 to go in the period. Red Knights are now once again down by 3. They were down 3-0. Got it to 3-1 and now 4-1 again.
Well, and you look at the shots on goal, obviously an advantage to the Red Knights, but I wonder how many shots attempted by this Red Knight team, because a lot of wide shots tonight.
Here's McDonald picking it up along the right wing for the Hawks. Dishes it off across, and they are offsides. But both teams have been having trouble with the staying on sides part here today.
Well, the thing I like about that, though, is they're being challenged at the blue line. Use it as a natural line of defense. You can't step up, but you rely on your forwards to come back and cover. But that was just a cross-ice pass, kind of parallel to the blue line. It was hard for Thomas to skate into that with some speed, so he just snuck in. But kind of a break for the Red Knights.
Red Knights take a hold of it here as they dump it into the zone. Back to cut it off is Weiser. 7:22 to go in the third period here. This one will go out of play for another stoppage.
Well, it's good to see Jakic getting a lot of looks and some shots on goal. Now they move Logan Like back to support on the defensive side of it. And Like's got some offense to him. Only a goal in the year, but he can move the puck in traffic. And Coach Ken Pauly almost did it. Changed his defensive pairing.
Here's a shot that misses the mark from the point. That was Sarsland who had the big wind up there on the slap shot. Pinned up along the wall now. And there's a couple of players from both teams colliding. Trying to help out is Warner. Still tied up along the wall. Warner waiting for that loose puck to come free. Now Sarsland at the left point. Sarsland cutting inside. Bumps it back down low, but his pass missed the mark.
Well, as long as they maintain possession, there's no real harm on that, but obviously it didn't quite work the way they wanted.
Up the boards, it'll come. Batted down by a stick of Chaska. Now the Red Knights come into the zone. Dished off on the side. Here's Bischel throwing it towards the goal. And Weiser was way out of position there. Got to get back in the crease.
He got pulled out by his defenseman.
Bischel down low, trying to find his teammate Charlie Warnert, but this one will come out of the zone as Chaska clears it down once again. Sarsland will hustle after it. He's got a player breathing right down his neck there, and up along the wall will be taken by Bischel. Chaska with some good forechecking here. That Scholl, number 8 for Chaska, as he'll pick up the puck. Here's Scholl trying to get a lane, waiting to drop it back, and that one off a Red Knight stick, fired right back into the zone.
As time ticks away, 5:54 left in regulation. Benil down by 3. Better get moving.
And a penalty coming up here against Chaska. That is a nice break for the Red Knights. Goodrich is going to go for a trip here in a minute, but we will get the extra attacker out on the ice for Benilde, and there's your penalty whistle right there.
Well, this is the opportunity I think that the Red Knights were looking for. It's going to be a hooking penalty. I thought it was going to be a trip, and I thought maybe a non-call wouldn't have been a bad deal on that, but it is, as you said, going to be Charlie Goodrich going to go to the box for 2. So this is kind of the time right now for the Red Knights to show their offensive skills and put some pressure on the goaltender. They haven't really got those point-blank opportunities. That's just Chaska, but now Chaska has a challenge for them to kill this penalty off.
Red Knights, of course, scored on their last power play that was near the end of the second period, so big chance for them to strike again. Here's the shot, scores! How about that? 5 seconds into the power play, and the Red Knights are back within 2.
Wow, and that's Yakis that scored that. And 16, 20, and 9. That's going to be Messenberg, and also it's going to be Marshall on the assist. Marshall won the draw over to Messenberg. Messenberg over to Yakis, and he just let one fly about a foot off the ice. I'm not sure the goaltender saw that one, but now it's 4-2, 5:34, plenty of time. 2 good shots down. So the onus now is kind of on Chaska to finish this game out. They played so well up to this point, but Benilde looks like they have their focus and finally got some good energy coming out of this.
Big goal for the Red Knights, their second power play goal of the game. So they've been taking advantage of that. I know you talked, Bart, about how that power play needed to get a little bit more percentage, and they've been doing that so far today. Oh, big hit along the wall as Yakish took a ride there, and now thrown up and out by the Hawks. This will be an icing call here against Chaska, so back down to their end.
Well, Yakish showed a little confidence in that one, but it was Burkholder that actually put him against the wall, stopped his forward progress. Really nice play by the Chaska defenseman. But Yakic getting that first goal of the season, that bodes very, very well for him. Welcome back to the Red Knight lineup. Obviously, a nice contribution. 5:08 left in regulation time.
Face-off one back. Sarsland looking for a lane in front and held on to by Weisert for the whistle.
Well, and the important part about that, Jackson Vachon was down low and Cooper Gay was down low, but the defense blocked him out and allowed the goaltender to make a relatively easy save. Otherwise, if they were in front of him, that would have been a tough one. Ooh, that's a hook.
We've hit the 5-minute mark here to go in this third period. And it's going to be crunch time here for the Red Knights very shortly, down by 2. And this one will go all the way down for an icing against the Red Knights.
Yeah, Matty, I think it's already kind of crunch time. I think it was almost crunch time when this period started, but you're right. It is a little bit more accentuated now as time ticks off. That time's going to go awful quick for Coach Ken Pauly and the Red Knights, and it's going to take forever for Coach Snuggwood and his Hawks as well. It should be exciting, though.
Face-off in the offensive zone for Chaska after that icing call against Benilde. Quick shot by the Hawks in front. That one rolling around. Limestone had to be ready there. Made the initial stop off the first shot from the face-off. And now the Red Knights will come out through center. Good speed across the line. Here comes Messenberg into the zone. Throws it on net. Weisert makes the stop. Now banked off the glass and all the way down for yet another icing.
Boy, Messenberg, it seemed like he was kind of going through the stick gauntlet, making his way through center ice. Still put a pretty good shot on from a relatively shallow angle, but it was on goal. Forced the goaltender to make a play. Puck did carry him all the way down the ice, so the faceoff is going to be to Wishart's left, 4:22 now. And it's Messenberg in the faceoff out of his outside.
Nice win there. Snapper from the point just missed the mark. Good shot, but just a little bit off there from Callahan. Sarsland trying to play it at center. And it'll be played into the zone, but delayed offside, so the Red Knights will tag up. Here comes Chaska with speed. Lavelle into the offensive zone for the Hawks. Big hit there, and the puck will come back to the point. Held in by Rinzel, who had that last goal for the Chaska Hawks. That made it 4-1. And of course, the most recent goal scored by the Red Knights.
Yeah, that's getting to be a bigger goal the more this period wanes.
Messenberg across the line. Here's Messenberg, nice move. Backhander fought off by Weisert. Good job fighting that one off. Now into the corner. Red Knights still whacking away in front. That puck is loose, but cleared out by the Hawks, as Limestone will let this one go for yet another icing.
Well, the defense is starting to activate a little bit. It was Sarsland that actually snuck in there to give them numbers out front. But Messenberg, a man possessed right now. Everything he gets is going toward the net. I thought he had, I believe it was Marshall on the weak side, opted to take the backhand shot. Good shot on goal, forced the goaltender to make a play. There might have been a better option out there, but you can tell Benilde St. Margaret's knows the situation, but Chaska holding on quite well.
This one not out of the zone, as it was tried to be cleared there by Goodrich, but it will stay in the corner right along that left hash as a couple of players continue to whack away. Now sent to the other boards. Trying to get it out are the Hawks, but they'll swing it around back the other way. Kept in by the Red Knights at the line. Forced out of there finally. And Yakish will go back to play. Empty net for the Benilde St. Margaret's Red Knights here. Pulling it with over 3 minutes to go. So very early, but we'll see what they can do. Red Knights at center. Here's Charlie Bischel. Again, an empty net for Benilde St. Margaret's with the extra attacker, 6-on-5. This one will go down in icing against the Hawks.
Well, it was either Mortensen or Asher Conley that tried to keep that, press themselves up against the boards to keep that in the zone, but that puck seemed to have eyes and found its way down, relieve a little pressure. 2:40 to go now. The net, as you said, Matt, is empty. Limestone out, so 6-on-5 right now. Faceoffs becoming very, very important, obviously, for the Red Knights, for both teams, but with a little accentuation for the Red Knights. But I think Coach Snuggerud for the Hawks took timeout. I think it's a good time to take timeout. 2:40 left. Just get the kids down because they've taken about 4 icings in the last 3 minutes. Not really what you want to do, but if that's the worst case scenario, that's not too bad. But just get them refocused, and just all they need to do is just chip the puck out of the zone. If they can keep it from getting an icing, that'd be even better. But it's going to be very exciting. 2 minutes and 40 seconds.
Absolutely, and if you remember earlier, of course, Benilde took their timeout after they went down 3-0. So Chaska didn't have to take their timeout here, but they obviously want to give their guys a little bit of chance to breathe and get their breaths ready here for the next final 2:40.
Well, this is very important, especially when you have, I think they have 6 or 7 sophomores on the team. These are kind of teaching moments where you can kind of just get them reset and calm them down a little bit, because a lot of, if there's one thing that Chaska is doing, is they're kind of migrating to the puck in too big of numbers, and they're leaving some space exposed just a little bit, but just settle them down. They're in a good spot right now, but learning how to be a good front runner is part of the process of development, and they've done a pretty fine job so far. The only goals they've really given up are 2 in the power play, and that, not many people that come into the rec center can say that, so they've done a really good job of minding their defensive responsibilities. But I just like the way that the defense are blocking the Red Knights out and giving their goaltender a chance to see the puck.
Reminder that tonight here on MNHockey.tv we'll have 2 more good boys contests coming up. Eden Prairie and St. Michael Albertville, a little bit less than 3 hours from now at 7 o'clock. And then it will be the Wayzata Trojans entering Braemar Arena to take on the Edina Hornets, and that one will start at 7:30.
And Jackson Boris for the Hornets is on a hot streak. I think he's got 8 goals now. Kind of stammered a little bit out of the gate, but nice to see that Edina's got somebody stepping up and putting the puck in the net. But they're going to match wits. I think Wayzata might have a little bit more depth at scoring, but Edina can play a solid defensive game, so it should be a fun one to watch tonight.
Of course, Borst had a hat trick on Thursday against Buffalo.
Indeed he did.
Shot there was blocked by the Hawks as they try and get it out of the zone. Good keep, though, by the Red Knights in the corner. Mortensen trying to wait for that puck. Big hit thrown. This one will sneak right through, but it will be, again, another icing against the Hawks.
Yeah, just to dovetail off that, I think it was Jackson Borst 3, the Buffalo Bison 2.
Yeah.
So.
They needed every bit of Borst on Thursday night.
Well, the funny thing about it is the way that these high school teams played. Now, Borst might get all the accolades for scoring the hat trick, but a lot of work went into it by his teammates to set up those opportunities as well. But it should be a fun one tonight.
Buffalo is 0-5 in the Lake Conference, but they have gotten some close games, and that's a sign of good things to come, I would think.
No, absolutely. In fact, I saw some good things we did the Minnetonka Buffalo Bison game, and they might not have the depth of perhaps a lot of the teams in the Lake Conference, but they certainly have the fight and the wherewithal, and they're a pretty talented squad.
Red Knights win the draws, they get it back. Here's Messenberg loading it up, blocked in front, or right actually at the point as the Hawks struggling to clear it. Now they do, and here's a chance for the empty netter, and fought off. Nice job defensively by the Red Knights. Looked like that was Callahan.
Indeed it was.
Now taken a hold of by Bassan, as the Red Knights will have to get going. Under 2 to play. Again, empty net for Benilde. Here's Bassan's shot that skids wide of the left post. Down low now and banked up to the point. Red Knights have it. Thrown towards the net again. Weiser was ready for it. Back to the other side. Kept in by Messenberg at the point. Now Messenberg will go across. Here's the one-timer blocked in front and backhanded out of the zone just for a moment, and now cleared down by Chaska, and that one will go into the empty net. That will pretty much seal the deal as the Hawks add their 5th of the game, and it's 5-2.
And that's Zach Zelton, the sophomore forward, scoring his 9th, so he well represented on the score sheet for this Chaska Hawk team, but now it's 5-2, 126. You know, I'm not saying it's over because we've seen some crazy things happen, but Chaska did exactly what they needed to do. They kept everything to the outside. They had 3-4 across the blue line. It was Bassan that came up with some great speed, but he had to go laterally because there was nowhere for him to go. That's what you need to do when you're trying to protect the lead. So Chaska's done a lot of good things today. I'm sure that Coach Snugger was very happy with the way his team has performed.
Absolutely, and this will be, of course, barring a miracle, this would be their 2nd win in a row after losing 3 straight. So they've turned the tide a little bit here, and they played really well. They got off to that early start that they needed, got the first 3 goals of this game, which really helped propel them here this afternoon.
Well, and I think the important part about that, Matt, is they survived the first 6 minutes when it was all Benilde St. Margaret's, and they came out of that 0-0, and then all of a sudden they got the one goal on the board, and they seemed to relax a little bit. So just weathering that first 6 minutes, I think, was the key for this Chaska Hawks' success today.
Here's a chance right out in front off the tape of Geertsen for the Red Knights. Down in the corner, 35 to go in the game here. Chaska leading 5-2, blocked, and now thrown out in front again as this one will escape the reach of Yakish at the right point. So he'll go back to get it with 24 to go. Icing call with 19.9 to go here in the 3rd.
Well, I just want to finish the game the right way, but I think if you're Benilde St. Margaret's, just keep the puck off the Hawks' stick to close this game out and protect their goaltender. But Carson Limesand is we've sang his accolades all year long, and this isn't going to bother him at all. He's a confident goaltender, but you know, he seemed to be fighting the puck a little bit, but I think it's more of a consequence of the way his team played in front of him. I think Benilde played a pretty sound game, but I just think the Hawks just had a couple opportunities that they made the most of.
10 seconds to go. Red Knights trying to get one last goal here. As Weiser fights it off with 5.8 to go here in the 3rd.
Well, it was a pretty good offering by Cooper Day in that. He just walked around the end line and came out. Shallow angle, put a shot on goal, tried to go short side. But once again, the Hawk goaltender did a nice job of covering that post.
Quick shot by Gay, fought off by Weiser. The Red Knights don't want to end this quite yet, do they?
No, they want to at least make it work for it, but no, they've done it. But Cooper gave it a couple good opportunities. Asher Kindly winning some faceoffs.
And that will do it as the Hawks come into the St. Louis Park Rec Center and they score the first 3 goals and win it by a final score of 5-2 here over their Metro West Conference rival Benilde St. Margaret's. Bart, huge win today by Chaska.
Well, indeed it is. It's going to, you know, they work very, very hard. Now they have a 2-game win streak. They took New Prague to the woodshed a little bit. I'm not saying they took Benilde to the woodshed, but they were really, the score is indicative of how this game kind of went. Obviously, the scores and offensive zone time might have favored the Red Knights, but the good opportunities were really more to the Hawks' advantage. I thought they came in and played a very complete game. Was it perfect? No. Did it need to be? No. They won 5-2 in a hostile environment, so good things for Coach Snugger and the Hawks moving forward. But it's not going to really do too much to them. They've been kind of on again, off again all year long. They're going to find their stride. They have too much talent. They're too well coached, and they have all the checks in the right boxes. But we hope that obviously Jimmy Snugger is going to come back for the Hawks, and Nate Schweitzer is going to come back for the Red Knights, so they can have a full complement of resources to work with moving forward. But just a blip on the schedule for this Red Knight team. They'll be back, obviously, but good job today by the Hawks. A very good showing by Chaska today.
Chaska improves to 7-8-1 on the season, and as you mentioned, they have now won 2 straight after losing 3 in a row. So again, a reminder that tonight on MN Hockey TV, we've got a couple more good games. Eden Prairie and St. Michael Albertville at 7, and then Wayzata and Edina at 7:30. Those are both boys games. And I know you're looking forward to that Wayzata Edina game. So am I. I won't be there, but I think it's going to be a good contest for sure.
You'll be with us in spirit, Matt, as you always are. But,
Absolutely.
no, we'll miss you, but I'll be on the mic with Pete Wagner tonight. He might give me a chance to say something. We never know. But
I hope he's not listening right now. Otherwise,
no, he's got his hands full. Whenever it's the weekend, Pete Wagner is always a little bit stressed out, and a little bit overextended, but he always seems to make it work, and we're here to help him out.
Final score here from the St. Louis Park Rec Center: the Chaska Hawks 5 and the Benilde St. Margaret's Red Knights 2. So thanks for joining us. For our entire crew, David Hillen, Patrick Lilia, Bart Archer, I'm Matt Harrington saying so long from the St. Louis Park Rec Center.